What's up, everybody? Josh Smith coming at you with a video. Today I'm talking about the middle class trap. What exactly is the middle class trap? Like, what do I mean by that? So some of you have had questions for me. I've used this terminology, this phrase in other videos that I've done more recently. And I did it, I think I talked about this in a live that I did, a webinar recently that I've done. And I wanted to kind of make a video because I got a few questions about the middle class trap, and I thought it was important for you to understand. So if you're someone in the middle class, what I'm referring to as middle class from an income perspective is anywhere between about 150 and maybe about 350 a year. And we're going to talk about the middle class trap as it pertains to college planning, right? College funding. So what I mean by the middle class trap, what happens in the middle class trap is essentially what happens is you lose wealth, right? You lose money by getting into this middle class trap. Now, how do you end up in a middle class trap? So we'll take a few steps back and just kind of give you the big picture. When it comes to the middle class trap, for some of you that maybe you've noticed this, I don't know if you're new to the college planning world, right? Maybe your student is nearing college, or maybe you've been kind of here for the last several years if you have multiple children. But over the years that I've been in the college planning space, about 10 plus years, I've noticed a trend. There's been trends when it comes to admissions. There's been trends when it comes to financial aid. And one of the biggest trends more recently, not trends, I would say changes when it comes to financial aid, has, in my opinion, restricted middle class people from qualifying for aid, making financial aid less attainable, making, when it comes to college affordability, more challenging for middle class people. Also, recent changes have taken place when it comes to student loans. So there's a lot of changes that are happening, right, that are making college education more difficult to attain for middle class people. Now, middle class people are right there in that unique situation, right? They make a decent amount of money where they can, afford their lifestyle, pay their bills, depending on, where you live and your expenses. I totally understand it could be different for different people in different locations. But you're in a situation where you make a decent amount of money, but not enough in most cases to write a check for just any amount when it comes to college costs, college expenses. At the same time, you also make too much money, according to the government, to get assistance, to get aid, to get help. So it puts you in a situation where you need to think differently, right? No one's out there really looking to help you as it pertains to the government, and you need to take control over your finances and understand your options to the fullest so you can be in the best situation for your family. Now, with that being said, the trap basically says, okay, well, we're not going to help you here any longer. So what do most people do who have decent income and or who's had the ability to save money? They say, well, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to use our income or our savings to pay for college. And that is where the trap, right? That's where you're now actually trapped, right? So there's been things and things that have taken place to kind of force you to think a certain way, pushing you in a certain direction, which now you are trapped. And the reason why you're trapped is if you're someone who's thinking you're going to use your cash, you're going to use your income, your cash flow, some of your assets, your retirement to pay for college, that's putting you in a situation where you're going to either have to work longer, you're going to have to accumulate more, right? It's adding a lot more risk, right, to your overall financial well-being, compromising your financial well-being because of how you're thinking. And what I'm here to say is there are solutions to be able to do both, to do all of these things, to help your students with college, regardless of how much it costs, regardless of where they go, right? And still be on track for some of your other financial priorities or obligations that you may have in years to come. You can do it all. You can do those two things, I would say, very effectively and efficiently with the right strategy, with the right knowledge. And I always say on all my videos, what you don't know can definitely cost you. But what the whole message and the whole point behind this video and or the middle class trap is that things have changed, so you have to change. Change your way of thinking, change your way of thinking about paying for college. You should not, I would say one of the worst ways to pay for college, the two worst ways. One, you should not drown in debt, okay? We all know that. But the other way that you should not, or you should never think about paying is you should not use your savings or your income or cash flow to pay for college. I know that's a little counterintuitive and most people don't think that way, but trust me, if you have questions, you have concerns, comment below. I'll make sure my email is there. You can book a time to speak with me. This is no cost to you, but I'm a believer that specific guidance, specific advice is worth more than 1,000 hours of general information that you may find on the internet, YouTube, wherever you're watching this video. So I'm glad and thankful for you to watch this video, but if you have questions, and I'll talk more about this in other videos, I'll talk more about this concept, the strategy, some of the solutions in other videos. But again, it's going to be general, just to kind of give you some ideas, kind of get you thinking in a certain direction. But what you want to do at all costs is avoid the middle class trap. You do not want to have to work an extra 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You do not want to have to be more aggressive and risky when it comes to your portfolio just so you can make up for lost times. You want to be in a situation where you're helping your child, right? You're also maintaining financial integrity and you're happy and you're at peace doing both and every other financial thing that you want to do as a family. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully I hear from you soon if you got questions. And if not, be on the lookout for the next video to come. Have an amazing rest of your day. And again, what you don't know can definitely cost you, and it usually does. We'll talk to you soon.